Technology working?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello, is it working? Yes, thank you very much. Sorry about the technical issue. Thank you, Chairman, and all the members of the committee inviting me to this hearing. In a little over 1 year, I have testified twice on Capitol Hill regarding the situation in Hong Kong. First before the CCC in May 2019, and then before the Pacific and East Asian Subcommittee of the SFRC in September 2019. Both times, I did not have to worry about going back to Hong Kong afterward to continue my street activism. But this time is different. Merely speaking about the plight of Hong Kongers on an occasion like this contradicts the new national security law. Under this legislation, Beijing just passed 24 hours ago. Anyone who would dare to speak up would likely face imprisonment once Beijing targeted you. So much is now lost in the city I love, the freedom to tell the truth. In typical Chinese fashion, none of us knew what was in the bill until it was actually effective, which had left us very anxious. Now that we can finally read it, we are far from assured. In addition to closed trials in Hong Kong or even the possibility of extradition to China, offenders could be barred from bails and a jury trial with their rights trampled on during interrogation. The Beijing-appointed chief executive has absolute powers to determine whether an act constitutes a violation of national security, whether any information constitutes state secret, and whether covert surveillance like wiretapping can be deployed. Judges assigned to handle these cases must pass prior screening by the Chinese Communist Party. One absurd clause even dictates that inciting hatred towards either the Hong Kong or Chinese government is illegal, terms so fake that they can easily be abused, and the whole set of law left so much room for interpretation. Directly funded by Beijing, a new Hong Kong-based national security agency will have sweeping power requiring the cooperation of all local government departments. We used to think of secret police as something abstract. Now it is a very real fear. The kind of cross-border adoption that Beijing once had to hide, such as the Causeway Bay book publisher incident, may well become a new legalized norm. China is exerting de facto direct rule over Hong Kong in clear violation of the 1984 Sino-British Joint Declaration that promises one country, two systems. Even before the national security law, the price of resistance in Hong Kong has always been high. I've seen far too many young faces beaten, detained, tortured, prosecuted, and jailed just for protesting our basic human rights. Over 9,000 arrests have been made in protests over the past year alone. There have also been numerous incidents of mystery suicide deaths. Still, against these odds, brave Hong Kongers keep the movement alive for the sake of our future generation, as well as a more democratic world free from the threat of Chinese imperialism and expansionism. The British flag lowered for the last time and the Chinese flag rose for the first time on the very day 23 years ago in Hong Kong. While its people were understandably worried in 1997, there was at least a sense of optimism that given the success of our city, people could contribute positively to the rise of China, which would in turn embrace freedoms and democratize. This turned to be a little more than wishful thinking. Over time, China has not followed Hong Kong's lead, but has instead made Hong Kong more like itself, erasing our unique way of life while reaping the economic benefits we provide. Perhaps the national security law reveals the true nature of what Beijing thought of one country, two systems was all along comprehensive autocratic control. Increasingly, we have seen Chinese leaders less and less willing to honor the one country, two systems part while more stressing on the dominance of one country. They have shown no regard for the separation of powers and democratic accountability, which are long taken for granted by Hong Kongers and enshrined in the Basic Law. Through fear, intimidation, and heavy-handed governance, Beijing turns Hong Kong into just another Chinese city while trying to keep its outer shell. In doing so, it hopes to preserve the illusion that the city is still autonomous. The international community must not be confused. Carrie Lam and her entire cabinet are puppets who have no power to make meaningful decisions. the high degree of autonomy once promised is just another blatant lie. It takes decades, if not longer, to build a city, but it takes just weeks to destroy it. This is what we have all seen lately. What now lies ahead of us is not just the personal safety of my friend Joshua or other leading oppositional figures like Martin Lee and Jimmy Lai, but the survival of Hong Kong as an idea. Therefore, it is vital that while our friends in the international community, including policymakers in Washington, do not pretend that everything is still normal, they do not look away. Even though the following quotes could be considered as a violation of the national security law, I wish to say it out loud on behalf of my deep beloved Hong Kong people. 光復香港，時代革命，五大訴求，缺一不可。Let's keep fighting in different sectors, and I wish Hong Kong and all of the world the very best.
Thank you for your testimony. And I want to thank our witnesses not only for their testimony, but given the risk of Chinese retaliation, I want to thank them for their courage